my question with respect to the remediation is, what are we basing this dire need for remediation on? Is there some type of report? Can you explain to us what testing has been done, even if it's been on city property, and what the results of those testings have been?
Councilman, what I would like to do is defer my pedestrian explanation of remediation to our experts. Kevin McCarty is here.
The testing that we were able to do in the streets was really to find out if those problems that we would expect to find on the smaller individual businesses actually extended into the roads. I would not normally expect to see significant problems from many small businesses because they use small amounts of chemicals, and basically they're not wholesale manufacturing of chemicals. It would have surprised me to find major plumes in the streets.
What did you do a report on this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. And I'm kind of explaining what that is now.
You're explaining the process, and
right.
you're explaining a lot of assumptions. And right. Is there a report, and what would that report say? Since you are the expert that the administration is counting, what would that report say?
We found basically we found the fill material, the old ash fill under the roadways. We found a lot of various debris in the streets. We found low-level metals contamination. More so.
Would it be any different than any other industrial zone in this city, Williamsburg or Bronx?
I think the streets are fairly consistent with what I would find in an industrial facility that didn't have a full discharge in it. It would not necessarily be what I would consider to find in normal New York City streets, however.
No, understood.
But that indicates you do have an impact in the streets from the facilities, albeit not significant plumes, which again I said I wouldn't expect to find.
Right. So this is definitely not a super fun site. Is it a brownfield site? I mean, what would you?
I will
if
tell
you had to categorize it, because I'm looking.
Okay.
I'm looking for what I haven't heard yet. Something that points to me that really clarifies and states this is a contaminated site. This is what we found. These are the mercury levels. These are the PCB levels. These are the toxins,
right.
And this is why at what grade or gradation of the sites. Does need to be this X amount of cleanup, 6 feet, 8 feet.
Right.
That's what I'm not hearing. I just hear an assertion about it needs remediation.
Right. And I would actually have to say that in order to give you absolute specific numbers, I'd need to get on the properties. I mean, that's,
right.
where the problem is.
So at this point, as of today's hearing,
right.
You cannot give me with specificity, scientifically, exactly what's contaminated and how contaminated it might or might not be.
Well, when you're saying how contaminated it might or might not be, that's kind of what I'm saying.
You just testified that you could not do that without getting on the site.
Right. I can say what might be there,
right.
Which is what I've explained to you before. Right. I believe fully from looking at the properties the types of contamination.
I appreciate your testimony. I would like to request on the record whatever report you have done, your compilation of data regarding the concerns, the environmental concerns at Willets Point, be forwarded to this committee and to myself as the local council member, because if it's as bad as some might believe, I'd like to know how bad it is. Thank you very much.
Sure.